testing 5 crypto strategies people say still make lots of money. All these strategies I've tested for at least 3 months and have had to survive the gauntlet of crypto destruction that was the collapse of FTX. Surprisingly, some of these strategies have turned out to be insanely profitable. In this video, I'm going to cover 5 strategies I've been testing for months, how much each one made and how they work, and my view on the future profit potential of each one. First up is GMX. This is a strategy that I've been talking about for months, and the results do not disappoint. I've been testing GMX since October, so a little bit over 2 months now, and GMX is a decentralized perpetuals market. Basically, it lets people take insanely high leveraged positions up to 50x on their favorite cryptos. If you want to understand how it works, imagine you have this guy named Jimmy. And Jimmy, he really believes in ETH. Specifically, the ETH will go up around 10 to 30% in value in the next few days because of a big market event or something like that. Now, making 30% is amazing, but Jimmy, he's feeling dangerous and he wants to make quite a bit more. So he decides to leverage his ETH position on GMX 50x. Meaning, if ETH really does go up 30%, he'll make the equivalent of if ETH went up 1,500%. Turning a $1,000 investment into $15,000, which is great for Jimmy. However, leverage is a double-edged sword. If ETH were to first go down 10%, then Jimmy would lose everything. All $1,000 that he invested would be absolutely gone. And that is the price that Jimmy pays for doing leverage trading. But on top of that, he pays another price in the form of fees. Each day that these leverage trades go on, the platform is charging fees to the people using the leverage. And these fees are paid out directly to GMX and GLP holders. This is called real yield. And what that means is that the yield isn't coming from them printing new tokens, or it's not coming out of thin air, but it's coming from real fees that are being generated for a real service. And for GMX and GLP holders, this essentially becomes a money printing machine, or so they say. So I decided to put it to the test, and I staked $5,163 into GMX. Month 1, the results came in, and they were surprisingly good. I ended up making around $515 from the price of GMX appreciating, and about $70 in rewards paid out in ETH and escrow GMX, for a total made month 1 of $585, or about 11% in a single month. But as we've seen in the past, one good month doesn't necessarily mean anything, so I waited. Fast forward to today after 2 months of testing, and my GMX is worth $6,644, as well as I was able to make $88.11 from rewards. So on average per month, just from rewards, I'm earning about 1.5%. And in total, over 2 months, I've made 33% from GMX price appreciation and GMX rewards. Keep in mind that this is all during one of the worst bear markets crypto has ever faced, and literally right in the middle of the collapse of FTX, and gets me really excited on what could potentially happen with GMX next bull run. Currently, it's sitting at a market cap of $350 million. But imagining during a bull market how many just crazy people would be leveraging up their positions on GMX because they're irresponsible, like all humans really are during a bull run, and the amount of crazy fees that GMX holders would be making, and just on top of that, all the wild speculation that generally happens during a bull run as well, where a lot of cryptos that really have no value shoot to multi-billion-dollar market caps. I could envision next bull run the potential of seeing GMX above 10 billion. Obviously, I don't know that it'll go over $10 billion. I don't have a way to tell the future yet. If I did, I'd be a billionaire, and my ideas would be way more successful and accurate, and I would, not ever be wrong. And if you're interested in checking out GMX, I have an affiliate link in the description. Anyone that signs up with that link gets a discount on their trades. I'd rate GMX a 9 out of 10. Next up is GLP. GLP is the other token on the GMX platform. This is where all the liquidity comes from that users are able to use to leverage up their position. GLP holders provide an insanely valuable service for the platform and therefore are paid out higher rewards. In fact, 70% of the yield coming from the platform is paid out to GLP holders. So I decided to test this strategy out as well. I deposited $6,642 into GLP 3 months ago. And And after 1 month, I earned $169 in rewards, mostly in ETH, which was awesome, but at the same time, the GLP token lost value during that month, and overall, I lost $319 for month 1, even including my rewards. Month 2, I earned around $140 in rewards, but I forgot to record the value of GLP, so I can't say exactly what the value of what I made or lost in the token, either going up in value or down in value, would have been exactly for month 2. Month 3, I made $137 from rewards, which yet again is kind of like in the same range. It seems like each month I made around $140 in rewards. However, GLP's value month 3 went down again, which ended up totaling to a loss of $800. Overall with GLP, I'm sitting at a loss of $380. So this strategy hasn't performed quite as great as the GMX strategy. That being said, I am bullish for the future of this strategy. I think in a bull market, it should perform much better, and the yield is obviously amazing. I'd rate GLP an 8 out of 10. Next up is OPYN. This is supposed to be a great crypto strategy for sideways markets, like the exact type of market that we're in right now. It works using a lot of complicated trading strategies that I'm not really gonna dive into at the moment, but they simply describe it as a product that provides global options like exposure without the need for strikes for expires, like a never-ending options position. If you don't understand that, don't worry, because all we really care about is, does this thing actually make money or does it not? I've seen plenty of people on Twitter bragging about how amazing OPYN is, how much money it makes, and all this kind of crazy stuff, so I decided to put it to the test. I deposited $1,011 in 2 months ago, and month 1 I incurred a loss of $3.39, which obviously sucked, but I decided to wait and see what would happen month 2. Month 2 was even worse. I took a total loss of $23, which was kind of a bummer to see 2 months in a row of this strategy not really performing. That's a total loss over 2 months of about 2%. Overall, this strategy has not been too great, but at the same time, it hasn't really been that bad, especially considering the context of what's happened in the market over the last 2 months. I'd rate this one a 5 out of 10. Next up is GNS. GNS, or Gains Network, is literally just GMX, but on Polygon. I mean, there's definitely some differences between GMX and GNS, but for all intents and purposes, they're essentially like the same type of thing, but on just different networks. Where GMX is on Arbitrum, GNS is on Polygon. I saw a lot of people on Twitter swearing up and down that GNS was the next GMX, so I decided to put it to the test. I deposited $1,100 2 months ago into GNS, and month 1 I literally did not record the results. I at this point had a lot of experiments that I was running, and I had not put anything in my calendar to like go check up on these things, and I just totally forgot about it and literally just screwed up and didn't record results for month 1. So we'll skip right ahead to month 2. Over 2 months, I made $6.44 from rewards, which is about 0.3% a month, and obviously way lower than GMX. And in the same time period, my GNS lost $74 in value. So overall, it's just sucking over here in GNS town, and I don't know what those people on Twitter were talking about, because I am not seeing the same kind of thing here. That being said, the actual protocol GNS is actually pretty neat. It does seem to function well. They can actually leverage up to 150x, which is like ultra super degen for people that are just straight nuts. So I do think the future of GNS could definitely be bright. Who knows? I'd rate GNS a 5 out of 10. Last up is Magic. Magic is the native token of Treasure.lol. It's a GameFi platform and connected marketplace. They describe themselves as a decentralized video game console, which I don't know exactly what they mean by that, but a lot of games launch here. It's like a launch pad for games, and they have like this built-in marketplace where you can sell all these in-game assets. It's pretty neat, it's pretty cool. They have a lot of multiple games that have launched on this platform and have seen over 264 million in total volume. I think of Treasure.lol as sort of like the central hub for GameFi, and if successful, could do really well in the future. Magic is their platform token, and it's a game resource, form of payment for the marketplace, governance token, and more. People have been going nuts about Magic on Twitter, and I wanted to put this bad boy to the test. And so I staked $2,747 worth of Magic on Bridge World in what's called the Atlas Mine. It's like the gamified way you do things on this platform. And really wanting to test this thing out, I made the bold but completely irresponsible choice to lock my funds for a year and get the highest yield possible. I did this based on the fact that it was saying crazy things like 400%. And I was like, well, geez, 400%, that seems really, really good. I would love to make 400% on my magic tokens, and it seems like a dumb idea to not lock it for a year if other people are locking it and getting 400%, and it's like diluting the amount of the tokens that I have. So at the time, it did seem like a kind of somewhat rational and reasonable choice. 2 months later, here's the results. I made $2,949 from price appreciation of the magic token, which was absolutely awesome. And I made from rewards $19 over 2 months from staking in the Atlas mine at 400%, which obviously that 400% is a little bit misleading. You're not actually making 400% like in the token. You're making 400, you have like 400% more like power to earn rewards, which it's really confusing when you dive into the documentation, and I did not catch this when I first did it, but it doesn't directly translate into like that's how much of a reward you're getting. The reward is obviously far lower than that. For a total made of $2,968 or almost 100% gain in the bear market, which sounds really awesome until you remember the fact that I locked my funds for an entire year and I can't like sell that off and like capture the profit. So it's not really that cool. I was really excited when I saw it. I was like, yes. And then I realized, oh my gosh, my funds are locked in. So what is even the point of this? It's now have to stay at that level for like the next year. And if it does, then that'll be great, but we'll see what happens with that one. And the yield from me staking, according to like, unless I'm really missing something, according to what I'm seeing, seems to be about 0.4% a month, which is around 5% a year. Which it really doesn't seem to be worth, especially for locking it up for a year. That just doesn't seem to be like worth the risk of locking your funds up. Still, it's really hard to complain when currently the token's up almost 100%. As far as the future goes, I have literally no idea on this one. It's a really interesting concept, and I am a big believer in GameFi, but if history is any lesson to all of you watching, every GameFi investment I've ever made has been a catastrophic disaster. So, I thought this was gonna be the first one that wasn't, then I locked my funds. I'd rate Magic a 5 out of 10. And that's it. I'm gonna keep all these experiments going, and I'll make sure to put out an update in a couple months. If you wanna follow along and you wanna see that update, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and you gotta hit the little bell next to it to actually be notified each time I release a video. And again, if you're interested in checking out GMX, I have an affiliate link in the description. I think you get some sort of discount on your trades. As always, none of this is investment advice. None of this is me telling you to invest in any of these platforms or any of these tokens or any of these things. Just blindly following a YouTuber and copying what they do on YouTube is probably the worst investment decision you could ever literally make. Always do your own research, always do your own research, and always do your own research, and always do your own research. I will say it 4 times if that's what you have to hear to understand that you literally should not just blindly copy me. There's a really quick way to lose all of your money. I do this as like a digital journal where you can follow my journey. I'm going to $50 million. I'm trying to make $50 million. Could fail. Likelihood of failure pretty high. But this is my way to document all my moves, all the things I'm up to, all the crazy stuff I'm trying, the wins, the losses, the punches to the face. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.